Hello students, we are back with current affair articles of the day. Let's see some of the important ones. The first article is on 5G technology. This is an article related to your GS3 Science and Technology section, and some of the pointers that you would be coming across in this article will also be useful for your economy section. So let's understand what is 5G first. It is nothing but the abbreviation of fifth generation mobile network, and this can provide internet 10 times faster and over the 4G, and also the latency has improved almost 10 times, okay, even more than 10 times. And in addition to this, if any device is connected to this 5G, theoretically they say that its response time is almost 200 times faster than humans. The response time of the device is 200 times faster than humans. And also this has the capacity, implementation of 5G has the capacity to bring in device to device connectivity, as well as would enable more connected device without network congestion. Okay, that is what this 5G is about. And now let's understand why it is actually important. Why do we need 5G? So 5G has a potential to offer services and capabilities that can take the technology to the next level, basically in all sectors, not just only in particular sector, but in many sectors. For example, let it be healthcare, or let it be agriculture, or let it be autonomous cars in the automobile sector. So this 5G has potential. It can basically improve the services and capabilities of many industries. And for example, in healthcare, it can basically take the digital seva to the rural areas, thereby increasing the health facilities in those areas. And also this would pave the way for Internet of Things and connection of devices. Device to device communication would be enabled. Okay, so we now saw why it is important, but we have to see which are the factors actually affects its implementations, which are the factors that actually determine the effective implementation of 5G technology. So for rolling out of 5G, three major things are important. One is the infrastructure readiness. So when we say infrastructure readiness, it is about the telecom players. Okay, so they should be good enough. They should have a good infrastructure to basically implement 5G, and also they should be able to successfully bid and win spectrum. Okay, it's just with infrastructure they cannot do anything, because they need to get the spectrum from the government. At the same time, the government should also be able to auction these spectrum at a fair rate, affordable price, so that both the government as well as the telecom sector benefit out of it. And the government should also support these sectors, telecom sector, in implementing 5G through policies that are beneficial and supportive in nature. And this poor financial health of telecom sector operators. Right now, we know that many telecom operators, including we know that Airtel, BSNL, they are trying to find their feet because they have heavy competition in the market, and their financial health is not that great. So rolling out of 5G technology and with this infrastructure, by developing infrastructure for it, is very difficult part. So only when their financial health improves, implementation of 5G technology would be possible. We saw previously that how 5G technology is, why 5G technology is important, and how it actually can influence many sectors. But right now we will focus about how it impacts the economy as a whole. Okay, so right now, the way once 5G is implemented, it would change multiple things, including the way we are working right now. So right now, because of 4G that we have right now, work from home is made possible during COVID times. And when 5G is implemented, the way we work will also change. And even the things that we do, shopping, consumption of entertainment, communication, it all would differ. With 4G itself, we can see many changes. Let it be entertainment or working, we can see the way that we have changed because of e-commerce and Zoom based working during work from home facilities. But 5G would further change this thing. In addition to that, it will also bring in more opportunities, and also change the existing nature of jobs. For example, it would bring in new, because once it enables AI, multiple career related to AI would be increasing, as well as the existing jobs that would be taken over by AI would become redundant because of 5G technology. So it has cascading effect. 5G technology, implementation of 5G technology has a cascading effect on the economy, and it will also result in exponential growth in data, because once the speed is higher, the consumption of internet would also increase. If you had observed, when we had 2G data, the consumption of data was significantly lower when compared to the data that we have under the consumption we have under 4G. The same way, once 5G is implemented, this would also increase, and as it increases, the demand for computer science, statistics, jobs like this, that would be demand for that, because it is interlinked to such growth in data. Once data increases, it is not just about consumption of data, but also about accumulation of data, and processing of such data needs to be done, which would be dependent on mathematics, statistics, fields like these things. So basically it has more positive impact on the economy, and India should actually roll out this technology, 5G technology, at the earliest possible, because US and China are ahead of us, and we should not lose among them in terms of innovation, because 5G brings with its innovation as well. It enables innovation in many fields. So only when you roll out 5G, innovation in multiple sectors, let it be healthcare or let it be agriculture, the innovation in these sectors can happen only the sooner we release the 5G, roll out the 5G. And also we need to upgrade devices to reap the benefits of 5G, because once, as I mentioned before, not only the telecom sectors would have to upgrade that infrastructure, also those sectors that are dependent on telecom would also have to improvise. Let it be our mobile phones, or let it be the laptops, or whatever devices that could get connected to 5G. It needs to be upgraded so that it can we can benefit out of the 5G technology. So this is all about 5G technology, students. We will move on to the next article. Okay. Second article is on innovative financing. This is again related to your GS3 economy paper. Okay. And even in prelims, a question can be asked on various aspects of it. We will see one by one, and a statement based question can be asked on this. So first, let's try to understand what is innovative financing. So basically it is nothing but a new type of financing mechanism that is totally different from traditional source of financing mechanism used for development related activities, which would basically complement the existing setup. It won't altogether take over the existing financing institutional setups, but rather it would complement them. But it is not like the traditional unpredictable source of financing. It would be more predictable and more stable. So this is a different type, modern type of financing mechanism. And these mechanisms basically use market based financial instruments, and also it encourages collaboration between the stakeholders. So what happens is, these market based financial instruments would not be directly dependent on the existing banking or non banking financial institutions. Rather, they try to bring in a market based financial instrument that would encourage collaboration between the stakeholders. The first one in this is impact investing. So the impact investing, it is an investment approach, as the name suggests. It is driven by the social objectives. Okay, so that is the major, this is the major keyword around it, because it is not something like where you are trying to promote growth in an industry, or you are trying to gain profit out of this. Rather, it is basically the investment is focused on making an impact at social level, and also it has certain standard return model. Okay, so that's what standard investment return model is already put in place, that actually operates around this thing. And they are, so what happens here, they are trying to balance two things. One is the social benefits as well as the economical benefit. So while balancing these two things, what they try to do is, they are not trying to be altogether purely philanthropic, but at the same time not totally profit oriented like financial investments, financial institutions. So they basically encourage positive developments through market based instruments, and it also involves public private partnership. Another type of innovative financing that we have is outcome based financing. Okay, So this is basically what it is focused on energy sector. Okay, energy aspects of it. It depends on the energy performance. It finances based on the energy performance. Okay, and it will be very useful. Such type of financing technique will be more useful for India because a consumption of energy in India is already high, and innovation comes from investment required being cash flow positive and or budget neutral. So basically, it tries to channelize the energy performance. It's trying to correlate the energy performance with the financing activities. What it basically does is it takes money from the service it has provided. Let's say there is a firm that is involved in the energy sector that gives energy, electricity to the households, and they receive the monthly utility bills from the revenue that they earn. They basically invest those revenue again in the upgradation of infrastructure for improvement of the existing setup itself, energy infrastructure itself. So what happens if you are able to, as a firm, if you are able to perform better in delivery of energy to the households, or let it be any other energy sector, then you would be able to gain more revenue. As the revenue increases, it is again channelized in upgrading the firm's infrastructure itself. So the money is rotated and it is based on the outcome of the service that you provide. The third one is social impact bonds. This has been in news many a times before, and even SEBI is considering this social impact bonds, and it raises, actually in this social impact bonds, it raises financing to improve the social outcome with savings in future public costs. So basically what it happens, what it does is, instead of, so right now we know government is giving subsidies, let it be whatever it is, let it be in terms of insurance or subsidies to the agriculture. This type of spending is done by the government. What this type of social impact bonds tries to do is, they are investing in infrastructure related to infrastructure or services related to these sectors, the social sectors, so that the future public cost in these aspects would come down. So that is the broader idea around it. For example, let's say if a municipality raises public social money through social impact bonds, what they will do is they can raise money and build toilets in the municipality, and so that hygiene improves in the municipality, and so the public cost on spending on hospital services would come down. So this is the interlink between that, a social outcome that can definitely save a future public cost. So this is the keyword with which the social impact bonds operate. But the problem here is the returns on this. If investment happens, there is high risk of default, because let it be the firms or any corporation, they have a certain target to achieve, and if it's not always possible that social related targets, society related targets are not that easy to achieve. Like for example, as I mentioned, the building of toilets, it's not that easy, or to change the behavior of the people to adopt, to give up the open defecation and start using the toilets. It's slightly difficult. Trying to complete these targets is difficult, so returns on such bonds is also associated with the risk default. If you remember, some municipalities have actually raised bonds for infrastructure development. Even in those cases, there have been certain defaults, and the ratings of such bonds have not been that great for infrastructure development itself. When it comes to social outcomes, you can see how more difficult than the infrastructure itself is. So the returns on these are highly risk, has a high risk of default, and so this deters investors from investing in such bonds. So that's the major challenge associated with social impact bonds. So students, we have come to the end of the session. Hope you like the class. For more articles on current affairs and to know more about static content, subscribe to our channel. Also visit our platform. Until next class, happy learning. See you. Bye bye.